Hi, I'm Hadil. I'm at Parliament House. I'll be spending the day with Anthony Carbines, Minister for Police, Community Safety, Victims and Racing.
Can you tell me about your engagement with the media today?
Sure. So often coming into Parliament in the morning, ministers would come in the back door, gives the media opportunity to speak to ministers. Sometimes it's about portfolio issues, and other times it might just be issues that are running in the media that morning or overnight. So ministers are often prepped in the car, so they understand talking to media advisor the sorts of issues that are kicking around.
Where are you off to next?
I've got a meeting shortly with the Coles Group. So recently we passed legislation to prohibit machetes in the community. So big retailers like Coles want to have discussions about how they can play a role with prohibited weapons and implementing some of that work. Also, as Police Minister, they have issues as well with shop theft and the like, so we'll have a discussion about some of the challenges they face.
There you go.
Thank you, taking time to get I appreciate very busy time in the development.
I call the Minister.
Thanks very much, Deputy Speaker. In accordance with the Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act 2006, I table a statement of compatibility in relation to the Gambling Legislation Amendment Bill 2025.
Please give the statement to the Clerk. The Minister.
Tell us what happened in the chamber.
So my task was to do a second reading speech for a Gambling Legislation Amendment Bill 2025. So second reading speech then gets incorporated into Hansard, and we then agree in the chamber, which we did, to debate the bill in 14 days' time. I'm not responsible for the gambling legislation, but I represent Enver Erdogan, who's the Minister in the Upper House. So when his bills and legislation come up, I represent him in the Assembly.
Was the right decision, Speaker, the right decision. And indeed, if I recall correctly, Speaker, I think the former opposition leader also agreed.
You've just came from question time. There was no questions for you today?
No questions today, but you've got to be ready and expecting something every time. But also sometimes the Premier might, or another colleague might ask you for advice on something they're answering. So you've just got to be listening in across the fact that question can come at any time.
What communication do you have with members from other parties on a sitting day?
Yeah, I certainly have an open door policy here, so we'll find time. Sometimes you catch up with MPs from other parties or the crossbench from upstairs in the Upper House, getting a coffee or wandering around from meeting to meeting, and people want to catch you for a bit, and we just find time to do that. They'll have issues they want to raise, and for them, best chance to see ministers is when Parliament's sitting.
David's just in the chamber, so he's
Yeah.
speaking currently on. Yeah.
How has your day been? Share a few highlights.
Well, started very early this morning, probably about 5:30, when we knew there were some things running in the media that we needed to make sure we were ready to respond to, and that's how we started on the media on the doors when we arrived, but lots of conversations in the lead up to that. We've had a few votes today, so we've been in the chamber for that, prepared for question time. We didn't have any questions, we're always ready. We've rattled through some meetings with the crossbench, we've met with some stakeholders. They're big days in here and they go quickly, but you certainly punch through a lot of work, which is good.
What are the various roles you undertake in your capacity as a minister in the chamber?
Well, certainly always there for question time, and the whip likes us there for prayers at the start of the day to make sure everyone's present. We have a roster because the minister's always required at the table. in the Assembly, so we have a roster. I think I've got an hour on there tomorrow. There'll be different times, like today I did a second reading speech for a minister in the upper house who I represent, but sometimes I have bills of my own and I would introduce those into the Parliament. And then still a member of Parliament in terms of my electorate, so I'll do a member statement during the week.
How do you balance the demands of your portfolios with your sitting day workload?
Well, it's having good staff. They do a good job trying to manage my time, manage the appointments, but there's always at Parliament, I think it's unpredictable. So you can have your best laid plans, but sometimes you have to move them around because things will come up. There are certain meetings that are good to do here at Parliament with stakeholders like we did with Coles and others today. It's a good opportunity to see them here. So there's lots of different elements that can jam up the day a bit, but I've got good staff, so their job's to manage my time and keep me moving through the meetings in the day.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure following you around and learning.
It's great to share the day with you, and I hope that the rest of the work comes together well for you.